Breaking tonight, Baby Trump and Baby Khamenei sit down for emergency ceasefire negotiations in Islamabad as fresh attacks shake the region and the world holds its breath. With Baby Shehbaz Sharif stepping in as mediator, the question on every leader's mind tonight is simple: deal or disaster?
Gentlemen, the world is watching this room tonight. Pakistan has brought both sides to this table, rather this podium, because we believe no problem is too big for serious people to solve. I ask both sides for restraint, dignity, and at least one sentence of honesty.
Thank you, Shehbaz. Very nice introduction, very warm. I've always said Pakistan is a great country, tremendous people, very smart, very strong. And Shehbaz, you called, I showed up. That's what good leadership looks like. Now, Iran. We've been hitting, you've been hitting. Kuwait got hit today, which, by the way, was a horrible decision, terrible optics. And meanwhile, the Strait of Hormuz is basically a parking lot for my Navy. This has gone on long enough. I'm here because I make deals. I've always made deals, the best deals. And I truly believe that a deal is possible tonight if the right people are serious.
Iran did not start this war. Iran responded to aggression. What the United States and Israel began on February 28th cannot be forgotten with a press conference and a handshake. Iran comes here not to surrender. Iran comes here to state its conditions. If those conditions are not met, there is nothing to discuss.
He says conditions. I say terms. Same thing. Let's go.
Gentlemen, please, let us move to the table.
Nice table. Very solid. Strong table. Somebody built this well.
Thank you both for being seated. Let us begin with the first and most immediate issue: the Strait of Hormuz and the U.S. naval blockade.
Simple. Open the strait. Let the ships through. 1/5 of the world's oil goes through that lane. 1/5. The whole world is paying more for everything because of what's happening there. Fuel, food, everything. It's a disaster. A total disaster. Open it.
The strait will open when the blockade is lifted, not before.
The blockade stays until we have a signed agreement. That's called leverage. Very important concept.
You blockade our ships, bomb our cities, and then ask us to open our waters first. This is not negotiation. This is a list of demands.
Every negotiation starts with a list. That's how it works. You think deals happen because everybody feels nice? No. Deals happen because somebody has something the other side needs. You need the blockade lifted. I need the strait open. Beautiful symmetry.
Perhaps, if I may, perhaps we can agree on a simultaneous step: partial reopening alongside partial blockade relief, monitored by neutral parties. Pakistan has proposed this framework.
Simultaneous. I like simultaneous. Very professional word.
Any framework must include a guarantee, not a promise, a guarantee.
That is what tonight is for.
Iran has tens of billions of dollars frozen in foreign banks, oil revenues blocked, sanctions compounding every year. If the United States is serious about peace, the sanctions must be addressed.
Sanctions don't lift before a deal is signed. That's been true since day one. I said it publicly. Everybody heard it. Sanctions stay until ink is on paper.
Then you are asking Iran to make concessions now for relief later. That is not balance.
It's called sequencing. You give something real, you get something real. I've done this my whole life. You want the money? Show me the deal first.
Iran does not beg for its own money.
Nobody said beg. I said negotiate. Big difference. Huge.
The frozen funds question is serious, and Iran's concern is legitimate. However, a phased release mechanism tied to verified steps may offer a path that both sides can present to their people as a win.
Phased, verified. I can work with phased and verified. That's actually a good sentence, Shehbaz.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Phases without a clear timeline are just more delay.
Then we agree on a timeline. That is what we are here to build.
Now, the uranium. Highly enriched uranium. I need something I can show. Something verifiable. Something that doesn't require me to trust a piece of paper that was written in a language I don't speak.
Iran's nuclear program is legal. Iran enriches uranium for civilian purposes. We have stated this repeatedly.
At 90% purity, what are you powering? A very aggressive lamp.
Iran will not dismantle what it has built under pressure. This is our position. It has not changed.
Then how do we move forward? Because this is the piece that everybody, my guys, the Israelis, the Gulf states, literally everybody, this is the piece that won't move without movement.
Feasible formulas exist. Iran has said this, but the framework must be fair and supervised by the IAEA, not dictated by Washington.
IAEA supervision. I can live with IAEA supervision. That's neutral. That's legitimate. That's something I can sell.
If Iran agrees to IAEA monitor disposition of the stockpile in stages, and the US agrees that this is a negotiated solution and not a surrender, we have the beginning of a nuclear clause. That is significant progress, gentlemen. I want to raise one more element that Pakistan considers essential to any durable agreement: security guarantees. Not just words on paper, verified, committed guarantees that neither side reignites this conflict once an agreement is reached.
Security guarantees are fine. We honor what we sign. Everybody knows that.
History does not agree.
That was a different time, different administration. I'm not Obama.
On the security side, I want both parties to know Field Marshal Asim Munir has been in direct contact with leadership on both sides throughout this process. He has done significant work behind the scenes to ensure that any agreement has military credibility, not just political language.
Very respected man, very serious, strong, understands exactly what strength means. When Asim Munir says something holds, it holds.
Pakistan's role has been noted. Field Marshal Munir's efforts have been noted. But guarantees must come from the parties to the conflict, not only the mediator.
Agreed. Which is why both of you are sitting here tonight.
Whisper sir, an urgent update.
Gentlemen, I've just been informed that Kuwait's military activated air defenses earlier today in response to drone and missile activity. I want to be very direct. If this room cannot produce a result tonight, what happened today will not be the last incident.
Kuwait, great country, very loyal. They should not be in the middle of this. Nobody should be in the middle of this. Look, I've said publicly I'm 50-50 on whether this deal gets done. I'll be honest right now in this room. I want it to get done. Not because I'm weak, because the longer this goes, the messier it gets. For everybody, including you.
Iran does not accept responsibility for every incident attributed to it by American media.
This isn't about the media. This is about what happened today and yesterday and the week before.
Gentlemen, this is exactly why a ceasefire clause must come first in any framework. Before uranium, before sanctions, before frozen funds, a ceasefire with teeth. Otherwise, nothing else matters.
Iran came here in good faith, but every time we move one step, a new condition appears. The blockade stays, the sanctions stay, the bombs stay, and we are asked to give more. This framework is not balance. It is pressure with a different name.
Sit down. I'm not done.
I decide when I am done.
Gentlemen, please. I flew to Tehran twice. I have been on the phone every day for 3 months. My government has staked its credibility on this process. If this room walks away tonight, not because a deal was impossible, but because neither side could hold the table for one more hour, that is not failure by Pakistan. That is a choice, and both of you will own it.
Fine, let's finish.
What I am proposing is a 60-day framework, not a final deal, a structure. In the first 30 days, ceasefire holds on all fronts. Strait of Hormuz partially reopens. U.S. naval blockade partially lifts, monitored by neutral observers. In days 30 to 60, frozen fund release begins in phases. IAEA monitored nuclear discussions begin formally. Sanctions review starts. Both sides negotiate the permanent structure.
60 days. I've closed deals faster, but 60 days is reasonable, very reasonable. I can live with 60 days.
What guarantees that day 31 is not simply a reset back to pressure?
Because both signatures carry consequences, and because Pakistan, Qatar, and the Gulf states are all watching this process. Walking away after signing costs more than staying at the table.
Iran does not sign tonight.
I figured.
But Iran will review this framework formally. That is a concession. Do not misrepresent it.
I never misrepresent. I characterize. Very different.
Gentlemen, a formal review of a 60-day framework from both sides is more than this region has had in months. I will take it.